haven't got a f***ing clue where I am.
Oh, hello and welcome to another wild camping adventure. It's at the bottom of the screen. Zeke? Zeke? Is it supposed to be Zach? Who knows, but one thing's for certain, we are back in the great outdoors, and today we'll be sharing some top camping tip-top tips, as well as taking a closer look at Dartmoor and the history of this little-known national park.
Dartmoor National Park was invented by Sir Edwin Dartmoor in 1860 as a way for the upper class of Victoriana England to let off some steam. Unfortunately for Sir Edwin, it didn't go quite to plan.
Sir Edwin's business venture was sound on paper, but he overlooked one crippling mistake. He put the park too far away from London, and, much like today, people in the late 1800s simply couldn't be asked to go to it. Historians agree that had he put it nearer to the centre of the universe and charged tourists £60 a pop to see it, Sir Edwin Dartmoor would have become a very rich man. On the contrary, the business failed, and Sir Edwin went on to open an equally unsuccessful chicken cottage franchise in Luton, before ultimately dying in poverty.
But what was unfortunate for Sir Edwin is rather good for us. As you can see, there are very few people around, which makes Dartmoor an excellent place for a little bit of wild camping, or as some people call it, wanking.
I love nothing more than a nice long wank across the English countryside, so today we're doing the ultimate Dartmoor route, walking all the way from the north edge of the park, situated in the north, right the way south to the southern edge of the moor in the south. It'll take 2 days to cover the 400-mile expanse of the moorlands, so I've split the trek into 2 halves and plan to camp on the first night somewhere in this area. But first, we'll need some water for the journey.
Okay, campers, so when we're collecting river water for drinking, it is absolutely imperative that we check at least 100 metres up the stream, just to see if there are any dead sheep carcasses lying in the water. And obviously if there are, then that's great. Then you've got free water and a free meal. You can fashion yourself a free woolly jumper as well. If you've got the time.
Streams such as this run rather fast, so it can be difficult to corral water into your flask unless you've got some experience. If you're just starting out with wanking, it's recommended that you collect your water from stagnant sources, such as puddles or bogs, where it's much easier to catch. As for these woolly bagpipes, most of the ones you'll encounter on Dartmoor will indeed be dead, but if you're lucky, you may spot a live one from time to time. Don't forget to rub it and make a wish!
As of yet, scientists are at a loss to explain how these things got from up there down to here, but we call them sheep. Now, sheep are not dangerous unless provoked, and in fact, the bigger danger comes from humans.
Sheep are notoriously anxious animals, and one hypothesis is that it's their constant worrying that causes them to sink down from the sky and become land-based ground clouds. Around the edge of Dartmoor, you'll often come across warnings about sheep worrying. Indeed, the life of a sheep is one mostly consumed with anxiety about interest rates and whether or not they're good people, so it's recommended that you don't add to their troubles by bothering them with your dog or yelling at them. You may also see sheep with punk hairstyles, but don't be fooled. They don't know anything about punk.
I bet you can't name 3 songs by the Sex Pistols that isn't God Save the Queen! That's what I thought! Posers. The animals tourists refer to as Dartmoor ponies are a familiar sight in these lands. However, it is something of a misnomer, because Dartmoor ponies don't actually exist. They're just horses. at exceptional distances. This one here is 3 miles away.
During my long and arduous trek across open moorland, I suddenly became aware of another treat of nature, the calming melody of a Dartmoor song thrush.
Shut up! I can barely hear myself think! Here's a little tip for you. If you're carrying a lot of stuff on your camping trip, you've got your pots, your pans, your water bottle, things of that ilk, what you want to do is, instead of trying to cram them all into your backpack, instead buy a load of those little clips and hook it, all your stuff around the backpack, so it all clangs around as you're walking. Because essentially you might be walking towards this, but you want to feel like you're walking towards this. Be Samwise, my little Gamgees.
Due to a quirk of arcane bylaws, it's actually legal to commit murder in England, but only in 3 locations. The Wetherspoons in Sutton Coldfield, any London ticket barrier when a tourist has only just decided to try and find his ticket at the last minute, and within the mysterious stone circles of Dartmoor. Pagan druids have been murdering hapless walkers who stray into the circles for centuries, and they continue to do so today, the cheeky little rapscallions. Watch where you step, Grockles! Being careful not to walk through the stone circles myself, we come to the end of the first day. It's time to set up camp for the night.
And that's about it for the daylight, but I have just set up shop in this rather glorious little spot. Isn't this nice? There we have it. Now, the key to a happy wild camping experience is to pack light. You want to cut down on all the luxury items that you might want to take with you but will weigh you down, and instead pack only the essentials. I have forgotten my sleeping bag. There's not much to do, really. Probably just have a cheeky little wild camp and turn in for the night.
After a somewhat chilly night, sleeping in all of my clothes, I awake bright-eyed, refreshed, and ready for another 15-mile hike.
Running out of battery, so I'm just gonna have to assume the next day of hiking went absolutely fine. I made it to Ivybridge without any problems. See you next time.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm sorry I didn't get to record the entire trip. I really did run out of battery and I forgot to pack my charger. Well, no, I didn't. I brought the charger, but look, guys, final top tip, don't forget to pack the cable that you need to turn it into a charger. Otherwise, you're just walking around Dartmoor with a weighty block of totally useless plastic in your bag. Good job, mate. If you're a fellow wanker and enjoyed this highly factual documentary, please do share it around on your camping circles, on Facebook and whatnot. And be sure to say hi in the comments. For the Patreon folk, I've just done a video talking about the disaster that was day 2 of this trip. It really all went wrong, so if you want to hear how that turned out, then come support me on Patreon. And a big thanks to all those who already do. Follow me on Twitter to find out when the next camping trip is. Much love to the Dartmoor Massive. All the links you need below. Bye.